The Victorians are kind of notorious for using household items to deal with a variety of things. The exact same thing can be said for hair care. A while back, I went down a rabbit hole of Victorian hair care practices, which is kind of inevitably going to happen as you start studying historical fashion because it just tends to go together. One of the things I kept seeing pop up time and time again is the use of raw egg for either helping to nourish your hair or for washing it. Funnily enough, at the time, I had already been regularly washing my hair using raw eggs. Then I realized I actually have a Victorian hair care routine and I didn't even know it. The reason I started using raw egg to wash my hair is because I have relatively dry combination hair, so I needed something a little bit more nourishing. And also where I am, there tends to be a lot of locally produced eggs, so they're very readily available. So you're probably wondering why in the world I'm sitting in this weird looking outfit thing, and that's because this is actually a replica of an 1880s Victorian bathing suit. I sewed this thing a little while back, and if you want to see a complete lookbook on this actual garment, I have made it, and I'll link it in the cards above. So do consider watching that one, but obviously after you've already watched this video because engagement. So I'm going to walk you through the process today of how I actually do clean my hair. I should start by saying that because my hair is not oily, I only need to wash it every 1 or 2 weeks, which to some people might be gross, but this was actually pretty usual during the Victorian period. In fact, there are some references that state that washing your hair just once a week is a totally normal thing. But of course, every single person has a very unique hair profile and should do what is best for them. One disclaimer I should give, however, is that you really probably don't want to use raw egg on your hair more than every 2 weeks to 1 month. So because of that, if I do wait 2 weeks to wash my hair with something other than just water, I will end up using just egg. And if there is a period in between where I need to wash my hair every 1 week, then I'll opt for another type of gentle shampoo bar or something like that. You also might have different results depending on how your water is. So for instance, if you have soft water or hard water, that could potentially affect how egg impacts your hair. And the final thing is that you do not want to wash your hair with warm water. And the reason why is because it will cook the egg in your hair. And some people have learned that the hard way. Thankfully, I read about this on the internet before I actually did it myself, so I never had to deal with the pain of cleaning scrambled eggs out of my hair. But I just want to save you all the same trouble if you end up deciding to do this with your own hair. Because of that, just use the absolute coldest water that you can stand. So just keep turning down the heat until it's at a comfortable temperature where you're not freezing, but it's also still not hot or overly warm. So the process begins with me mixing the eggs in my kitchen. For my own hair, which is now getting quite a bit longer, I typically use 2 to 3 raw eggs. And depending on how long your hair is, you can alter this amount and just try different things and experiment and see what's best for you. So yeah, let's go on over to my bathroom and I will show you all how I wash my hair. Hello, and welcome to my bathtub. This is probably the weirdest thing I've definitely ever done on this channel, but how else am I supposed to demonstrate my hair care routine? So the very first thing I'm about to do is put this raw egg mixture that I made onto my hair using leaning cold, sort of warm water. Just enough so that I don't cook the egg, but not so cold that I'm going to be freezing sitting here in this tub. Apparently I've been informed that that kind of water is called lukewarm water, so yes, lukewarm water. After I've finished with the egg, I'm going to do a conditioning with an apple cider vinegar rinse, which is literally just a little bit of apple cider vinegar with some water to dilute it, and I just use that to kind of restore the pH of my hair after I use the egg. The ratio I personally use is maybe about 1 cup of apple cider vinegar per 4 cups of water, but obviously depending on what your hair is, etc., you can adjust that and just experiment with different things until you figure out what you like best. Finally, I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but I am not a hair care expert. I actually kind of suck at doing hair, though I am getting a lot better because I am practicing a lot. So because of that, this is just personally what I do with my hair, and from what I've read, as long as you only use the egg every 2 weeks to 1 month, you should be just fine. You don't want to overdo it with the egg, of course, but apparently egg is actually pretty good for your hair in moderation. So yeah, let's put this egg stuff in my hair. I begin by obviously taking down my hair because otherwise it would be quite difficult to clean properly. Then I rinse it with lukewarm, almost cold water all over so that my hair has been completely saturated. Now it's time for the beloved egg mixture I whisked together earlier. I ended up dropping at least a quarter of the mixture into the bath, which doesn't typically happen. This part might look a little bit gross, but I promise if you use this treatment yourself and don't have to deal with camera angles, it will probably be far more straightforward and you won't have egg running down your face like I do here. I focus the application on the roots of my hair and then massage it in towards the ends of my hair. When using this mixture yourself, you may notice that it foams a little bit, and this is normal. Finally, it's time to give my hair another rinse. Here I am again using lukewarm water and making sure that no egg is left. Then it's time for the apple cider vinegar concoction, which I pour all over my hair, keeping my eyes shut very, very tight, because otherwise that would really burn. And then I rinse it with hot water since the egg is already completely gone, so I won't end up with scrambled eggs everywhere. And that's my entire process. It's actually super simple. This is ultimately how I wash my hair every couple of weeks, and I know it looked pretty clumsy. I promise it's a lot less clumsy when there is no camera to try and work with. But if you want to try this out yourself, I do highly recommend it. It may or may not work for you, but I would still give it a try if it's something you're interested in. If you are curious about how I do my makeup routine, which is historically inspired, then I suggest that you watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Thursday for another video.